All right, welcome to the DanJJING Star League Season 3, Round of 8, Day 1, BeSt versus Mind. I am your host, BisuDagger, and I'm very happy to be here in this ace match, the final match between these two players. So it's tied up 2-2 in the best of 5. We're back on Transistor, and the spawn positions are close. And what I mean by close is, it's unlike the previous map, where we saw Mind spawn very far away in the top left-hand corner, and then BeSt down at the bottom right-hand corner, as far as you can get away from each other, which was great for Mind. But no, we have BeSt back on map number 1, from game number 1, and he played really, really well because it's a close position. He did something like a gas steal. He was a little bit aggressive with his zealots. It's just, it's a really nice map for BeSt style of play, who likes to open with some aggressive early mind games and basically play with the shorter distances. Mind, he's not that great at TVP, so he did win the 2 games where he could sit back and macro behind 3 bases and a very defensive bridge. This is the man of bridges. What can I say? But with no bridge to Terabithia this time for Mind, is he actually going to be able to win this game? I'm just heavily favoring BeSt in this particular moment, but both players have shown that they can play long, well games, and it can go in either player's favor. It's just, it's too hard to call, really, except for just whatever biasness that it's coming into my mind that says BeSt has the advantage here to win this game. But this is going to be a tough one. Remember BeSt, or Flash got eliminated in the last ASL because everybody believed that the maps were Protoss favored, and even a lot of Zergs got eliminated because of maps in particular, people would say. But I think that Transistor has been a highly entertaining and competitive map, regardless of balance. And I think that Terrans have been given opportunities to win on this map, despite it being such a weird one. So the SCV is going to be heading down towards the bottom right, scouting out that the Protoss is there. Meanwhile, BeSt, he already has the probe over there, and is he going to go for that gas steal again? What's the timing of this command center? Oh, so instead of, he blocks the command center first. So now he's got to sprint over and get the assimilator down at the gas. That would be the best scenario. Oh, now we see the EE Bay block. So he's got the gas steal. He's got the command center blocked. And now we're seeing that the Nexus can't go down. This is counter-terrorism here, and the command center, or the engineering bay, is doing as best a block as it can. Of course, with the Zealot out here now, it should die off pretty quickly. Now, the thing is, I feel like when you force a Protoss player to do other things than expand to a Nexus, that it can be dangerous. Because you could force a Protoss player to get a second gateway and suddenly get this wild amount of Dragoons. Or maybe do something like one base Robo with a later Nexus fit into the whole entire mix. So that's something that if you are going to go for such a change up in your build and be a little bit more radical, that you want to keep the SCV out. And that's exactly what we didn't see. Now, I like this for Mind because even with the pylon block there, it doesn't do much because the command center can still be built. And oh no, your workers have to just mine slightly further away than usual. But the Nexus can't be lifted up and moved. So it is a little bit more critical to take down the eBay. Now, the gas was on there pretty quickly that they were trying to point out from the observer for BeSt. So he does have that gas there. With the pylon down, now that the command center can be lifted and moved. And still no gas. Well, yes, there is a gas, but it's a long-distance mining gas. So I guess it's really important to Mind that he gets his factory tech out. So that is why he's long-distance mining with his SCVs. We have seen long-distance mining before. In fact, There was this one Flash game, and I don't mean to always reference Flash. It's just one that sticks out in my mind. But there was this one, hidden tech. Okay, but there was this one game in particular where Flash went down to his natural base before the command center was finished, and he had built a refinery. And he sent 6 or 7 SCVs down right away to mine from the refinery, and then he camped them there until the command center was finished. So he had 7 SCVs worth of gas immediately transferred in the command center, giving him that additional gas boost in the early game. So I thought that was a lot of fun. So meanwhile, the observer pointed out that the Citadel of Doom was not revealed. But how critical is it that the Citadel of Doom wasn't revealed? Is it going to be DTs? Is that what we're thinking from this early gas? But I feel like this should be sniffed out by Mind anyway, who did see that assimilator. And if someone as amateurish as me is able to think this through, then what is Mind going to be thinking himself? So the Dragoon going towards the north. I like this. Try and scout out if there's any vision from his opponent. And that's really what he wants to see here. Sometimes you drop a pylon even where that probe is at the top left, so you could see that there's the potential of a pylon being put over there just as a long-term scout and giving him that additional vision. But an SCV might be heading over there too. Oh man, if that SCV saw it, that would be no bueno for the probe. Alright, so the observatory coming down. Very, very important that the observatory is there, because fighting against those spider mines can be quite difficult, and you want to be able to pick them up quickly. Comsat stations coming down instead of a plethora of vultures and mines. I like this change up from Mind because his defense of mass mines and vultures didn't work out for him, as we saw in Game 3, where he ended up losing. And it was a massive setback on tech and resources. So instead, if you can defend with the Comsat stations, that's better. So I saw a shuttle that's coming out. I'm imagining that there's a very, very slow shuttle. What are we calling them? Molasses shuttles. Do have some DTs inside of it. And so those DTs are going to get dropped off very shortly here. The Comsat stations are ready. One DT does get dropped out just as a danger clause here to try and help make sure that the units are not lost. But a beautiful defense here as the Goliaths do chase down this shuttle. The shuttle makes it outside the base. Now remember, we saw carriers in the mid and late game stages with BeSt. I don't know if we're going to see carriers because the Temple Archives is completed. It leaves towards Arbiter Tech, which you could get to very quickly. Oh my god, I just almost knocked my desk over. I apologize. Alright, so enough squirming in my chair. Several gateways getting dropped down, notorious for gateways here. And are we going to see Arbiter Tech, or is it going to be Carrier Tech? I'm thinking it still might be Carrier Tech. So this is kind of cool anyway, because if you instead skip Arbiters and go to Carriers, which I think are better on this map, and he's got the +1 upgrade coming down on the Cybernetics core, you can still get Storm, and you could do a very Zhongbi-esque style of Storm Carrier. And no one does it better than Zhongbi when it comes to... And you know what? I don't know if I'm butchering the name. Some people say Jingbi. I maybe because I'm from the south here. It's a Zhongbi for me. That's how I put it together. But you guys can have all your cultural syllabic preferences if you want. But I'm going to say mine very differently than you. Although you can't really mess up BeSt and White. Those are very nice standard names to say. Thank goodness. Maybe Brittany is something that's pronounced different in Korean too. Brittany. I don't know. There's so many different ways that you can make words sound pretentious. That doesn't work for me. You know what? I like Zhongbae. I'll do that because in honor of my old caster, Flash for the Win, he loves using the word Bay all the time. So Zhongbae, that's going to be my thing. He's the ultimate Protoss Bay. 3 bases down for BeSt. 3 bases down for Mind. Both these players are working towards the mid to late game now, about to hit that 10-minute mark, just 30 seconds away. The supplies are pretty similar, APM pretty similar, and resources are pretty similar. So I gotta say, this game's got to be in favor of Mind because he's been doing so well. But can he deal with the carrier tech once it comes out? We need to go back inside that main base of BeSt if the observer will be so polite so we can see what it looks like. Nope. Okay. So Arbiter Tech, and he canceled the +1, then that was hugely important. So we've got a completely different game to talk about, one. And two, I think maybe there was a scan, and the scan saw that the +1 research was being upgraded. I wouldn't be surprised if that was canceled, and this is just kind of like a faux carrier build. So we'll have to see very, very shortly. And once the Arbiter comes out, if they click on the Arbiter and it has +1, I'd be so surprised. Why the waste of gas and minerals, unless there was some sort of switch later? So remember, there's this mineral, well, I guess it's not a mineral one, there's gas there, so it's a third gas too. So with 3 gases into the mid-game, it can be really good for Arbiter tech and gateway units in general. Now, Mind has the access to the same amount of resources, and in fact, he got his refinery done sooner. This dropship is going to go very, very roundabout out of here. Well, we're going to have to keep an eye on that because it's going to be another minute before it gets to its destination. But look at all the units in red that are at the top of the map. Is he going to snipe this shuttle? Oh my god. Is he going to snipe it? Ah, there he goes! BeSt playing so well, trying to advance in the DanJJING Star League. Wants to do the best he can. You know, Mind is quick though. He got the tank and the vulture out. He may have even been able to save the vulture if he wanted to. But it was impressive that he clicked over there in time and got those units out. Very, very quick reflexes to make the best use as he can. And then he decides, F it. Let's put in some vultures at this third base and see if he can take out a few more workers. Great defense from BeSt so far. Doesn't take a lot of losses here. His army's getting pretty massive. And look at this. He slingshots ahead in supply. Almost up to max supply. But he's got attack on top of the high ground. The tank positions can be pretty good here. And it's a wide bridge. Here's the difference. Remember, I talked about Mind as a man of bridges. This is a wide bridge, so not so easy to defend against. You got to use a mixture of supply depots and turrets and mines to keep this Protoss army from getting quickly on top of the tanks. So no shuttles in here, but the army is going to be moving forward. No Arbiter here either. Oh, no, the Arbiter's in the south. Sorry, as I say that, the stasis comes down and it gets the back tanks. It's so important that the Arbiter, because of the positioning here, can take the bottom angle and get the back tanks. Because he's not attacking like depth-wise into the units, but he's kind of attacking with all the units horizontally or vertically spacing against the Protoss army. He can hit the top and the bottom of the tanks as he engages. I think that BeSt is going to take this game. He's in a real good spot. He just took out that base, and Mind is going to have to call it GG. Wow. GG. Transistor, a great Protoss map, and you can see there that BeSt really took advantage of that being in the final map. So that's going to be it. Game 5. BeSt is going to advance into the round of 4, and he is going to be having to play against I don't know who the other two are. I think Last and someone else, but I haven't seen those games yet, and I'm going to try and cast them. Thank you so much for watching this. I am BisuDagger. It has been a pleasure. You're watching DanJJING Star League, Season 3, Round of 8, and I hope to see you in the Day 2 cast whenever I can get to it. Now, remember, these videos get uploaded pretty late to the DanJJING YouTube website, which is why it was such a delay for me to cast these games. So it may be a couple days before I can get into the Day 2 cast. But thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm very happy to be back. Please show your love and support, and have a good one.